This is my review of the Promised Neverland Chapter 140. I'm here. So I'm guessing All Might's going to show up. But it actually begins with a portrait of Lord Bayon's family. Him, his two kids, his wife, his mother, I'm guessing, and his father, who was killed in the Goldie Pond arc. From there, we move on to the Bayon territory, where his wife and child are going to the capital to see their father, and I'm already saying it now, he's gonna die. That kid's gonna die, and probably the wife too. Just a very strong feeling I have right now. We also get a look at the other territories, and I think the most interesting is the gnome territory. I mean, yes, the Bayon territory has a train, but the gnome's train looks like a Japanese super train, or whatever you call it, like a high-speed locomotive, and I don't even think it's touching the ground. So, yeah, the gnome territory probably has the most advanced technology, if I'm guessing. The Yverk territory looks like it's more about religion, like adhering to the orders of the gods or whatever. Doza territory looks more like luxury and being fat and lazy. And no idea about the Popu territory, the Pupo territory. Anyway, then we have 3 days until the Fari, and all the lords arguing with one another. Lord Pupo left all the work to everyone else, and Lady Gnome is very annoyed about that. And Lord Bayon is trying to calm her down, but still, he says, if I can be honest for a second, I prefer Gillen. And this shocks them. The one guy even says, oh, Lord Bayon, even if you think that, you cannot speak it aloud! But he remembers Lord Gillen from way back then. He remembers how that one was beautiful and just, and they truly thought was best for the citizens. Also, I think that's the evil-blooded woman in the flashback. I might be wrong, but I'm fairly certain that's Musica. Anyway, then he's wondering, how did a brilliant, kind, good man just lose his intelligence, become a wildling? How did such a thing happen? And as he's thinking about this, Lord Gillen is watching him, or more accurately, he's watching the capital from a distance. His army's there, ready to attack. There's a more complicated nature behind the whole royal family than I thought we'd get into, which I'm excited about. This clearly means arc is going to be longer than I first thought it would. I assumed Emma would solve everything, but I definitely think we're going to get into the actual fighting, the combat, the total world war between everybody at this point. Lord Bayon fighting Lord Gillen. I think it's going to be really interesting to see that happen. Anyway, they move back to Emma and Ray, and Ray is trying very hard to understand the physics of a black hole in front of him, even going so far as to say that if they spend too much time here, the gravity effect of the black hole will suck them in, and therefore they will have spent years here, and they won't have a chance to end the war, which might actually be the case. I think they had 10 days before the Tefari Festival to when they first entered this thing, and now it said 3 days are left. So have they been stuck in here for a week straight? I mean, could it really be they've been, stuck in here a week? Has it been a week to them, or has it felt like only a couple hours? I mean, they got lost in the maze for God knows how long. So that could have just been days and days. Anyway, they touched it, and then Ray finds himself on the floor in front of Anna, Tama, and Lannion at the base, and he has to ask himself, is this the real thing? Honestly, when this first happened, I thought he traveled back in time, and I thought he was back at Gracefield. I mean, he looked a little younger right here, and I really thought, oh my god, he's back in time. Now he has a chance to warn everybody about what's happening. Now he can talk to Isabel, talk to Mom, and tell her what's going to happen and how they can overcome it. No, he's just at the base. Turns out, yeah, he didn't qualify. But then we get this just absolutely amazing shot of Emma standing where the day and night meets. It's absolutely beautiful. And then we meet God as he slowly turns from an old man to a teenager to a infant child for reasons, I'm sure. Seriously, I will not be happy with this series unless we get a full conclusion on who the freak this guy is and what it is he wants. I am a little concerned that he said, you have a good brain, you look really delicious. Which is, I assumed he was like a god who just the demons worship, but if he's saying a brain looks delicious, he was probably a demon before he became a god. He somehow mutated to the point where he could pass through reality, pass through the fourth dimensional plane, or maybe he's the ultimate pinnacle of demon kind in the far, far future and move back in time as a fourth dimensional being. I'm honestly not sure. Also interesting, just that his dialogue boxes, they have this weird pattern around them that makes him just seem alien, like something different than anything we've ever met before. So yeah, Ray couldn't come, by the way. He could understand the concept of he could understand the concept of 7 walls and overcoming them, but he couldn't put it into practice. He was almost there, just not quite. In a sense, he couldn't overcome the walls, even though the walls don't exist. He couldn't release himself from the world. Emma could, though, and I think that makes sense. Ray is more of a thinker. Like 3 times in this arc so far, we've had him have a Deku moment where he just starts sprouting out words after words after words for like 5 minutes straight. Well, Emma just seems to naturally understand things. Even if she can't put them into words, she has a feeling that can... Even if she can't always put them into words, she can feel her way through most of this situation and understands what must be done. So therefore, she was able to get through the 7 walls and meet with the god. And he asks her, "Why did you come here?" And to her reply, "I came to make a new promise. I want to free all the children in the farms. I don't want to kill the demons. I won't let Norman go alone." And now, we have to wait for his reply. So the question is, what will his reply be? Can he make a new promise with her? Will there be a price to pay? I mean, this is a question I've been trying to understand for a while. What was the first promise? I mean, it made peace between the demons and humans. They agreed to go both their separate ways, but it didn't seem to be binding in any way. It was binding just so much as both parties would agree to it. Because it was said if the humans from the demon world crossed back in the human world, then they would break the promise and then could lead to full-out war between the two sides. And I guess if a human came across in the demon world, the same thing. So both sides are just agreeing to not go to war, but they don't really have anything stopping them from going to war. They could literally just send one person back across the border and be like, "All right, war's on, people, let's do this thing." I mean, are they afraid of, like, consequences, or would there be, like, a punishment from the god here if they did that? I mean, there's certainly a religious order among demons to a certain extent. I mean, Sonja talked multiple times about he worshipped a certain god and how he followed his orders not to hunt humans. And the queen, she had the symbol of the door to the other side on her chair, so I feel like the state religion is that they worship the demon god to some extent, and therefore, if the demon god comes out and says, "Okay, new promise, you're not allowed to eat humans anymore," they will listen. It just is, I'm still just trying to figure out exactly what this god can do. What are his abilities? What are his powers? I mean, he was able to reach out to Emma through the fourth dimensional plane when she was at the place of worship, Stonehenge, essentially. So, will he be able to punish people if they don't adhere to the promise? Will he be able to kill them, destroy them? Just make a giant appearance in front of the Capitol and say, "I am your god! I have ordered that you shall no longer eat human flesh." Cool, alright. Have a nice day. They've set things up in such a way where I can't imagine that's how they're going to end things. They have a war set up. They have political factions. They have various groups that all want something separate in this big battle that's coming up. And I just feel like there's no way Emma can just make a deal and say, "All right, no more fighting between each other. There's peace. Go have a nice day." I feel like it's almost going to turn out that the demon god can't do anything, or he'll need something in return. Like he'll have to say, "Okay, but you must get both Norman and the demon queen together in the same room and convince them both to make peace." Or some insane thing that she'll have to, port back to the real world and do. So the question remains, will she have been changed by this process? People have been saying a long time, "I don't want magic in the series. Magic would ruin it. Don't bring in magic." But after having transported to a fourth dimensional plane, I feel like Emma could have gained some abilities from it. Like being able to teleport or read minds or something. I mean, not, like shooting giant fireballs from her hand to obliterate her enemies or anything ridiculous like that, but some ability to perceive the world differently that allows her to move through it. Another way, I said in my last video, or the said like 3 videos back when they first was happening. I said like 3 videos back when they first overcame the walls that it might be possible that the two worlds are actually the same world but viewed differently. So therefore, after having overcome all this, Emma and Ray would be able to essentially phase themselves back to the human world, then travel long distances and phase themselves back into the demon world, so that way they don't have to, deal with the demons hunting them while they're running. I think that'd be amazing, and I'd love to see that. But again, superpowers, I do feel like that would divide the community, but I would be interested in seeing it. You could also just ask for Emma's brain in return, like, okay, I'll end the war, but I need your brain, and she'll, it's just Emma, so she'll be like, of course, yeah, I'll give it to you to save all my friends. Why not? I just really don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, what he says next is literally what can happen. What happens in the next chapter is literally going to change the entire series forever. It's going to give us a direction to move forward through, a direction where we can see, okay, this is the final arc, this is what's happening. It's going to be a battle, it's going to be a compromise, it's going to be Emma as the new goddess of the world being able to manipulate reality and teleport wherever she wants. I mean, it was mostly a joke, but Ray was teleported. Ray was essentially teleported. I mean, he didn't. He went into the world somewhere else and he popped out down, back there, so it would technically be possible for Emma to appear back in the world wherever she seemed fit or wherever the demon god saw fit to bring her back. I'm sorry, this is a lot of rambling. Long story short, I don't think the demon god is going to just make peace right here and now with Emma. I think she's going to need to either do something in return or he's going to say, no, I can't do that. If you want to make peace, you have to do it on your own, but I will give you these special alien powers, so go see what you can do with those. Have fun. Uh, I do think a lot of people are going to die. I think Don or Gilda could definitely get hit in the crossfire when they try to take out Musica and Sonja. That's certainly possible. Aisha and her dogs, definitely death flags there. Norman, good chance. I mean, they made this whole thing of the three of them need to make a world where everyone's happy together, but I almost feel like Norman's hands are too bloody at this point to get that happy ending. And his followers, they are definitely there. They all they care about is killing, murdering, torturing demons. They love it. They enjoy it. They get off on it. So I kind of have a hard time imagining a world where they can, be at peace with peace. Demon royalty, good chance. Lord Ban's family's gonna be murdered. Galleon, he's probably gonna get killed at some points. I mean, even there's probably, there's a probably good chance that Norman's gonna end up being the one to kill him. Oh, Norman has that whole toxic nerve death gas that can murder demons. So, yeah, they theorize he was gonna turn into a gas, but it's also possible he's gonna contaminate their food, so when they eat it, they all die really quick. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. What's going to happen? What's going to be the deal? What's going to be the promise? What's going to be the compromise? And how is this series going to end? Be sure to like, subscribe, and until next time, peace.